Good evening, Try. That was a long, pointless, just back and forth with indecision, making fun of Mike. I'm shocked that the planning of the stream lasted longer than the stream will probably last. That is something special. I don't even know what to say. How are you doing, sir? I'm the man. I think the thing is, like, here's my issue. At least, those. See, this is why you are the leader amongst us when it comes to streams. You're the leader. This is why, because you know what it takes to make a good stream. We are just following your rapacious example. And hopefully we're getting close to the mark. Hold on. I'm not hearing what I need to hear here. Tell Mike to get... We're done making fun of him for Catherine. But... Like, it isn't fair, and Mike knows this, and I turned off Discord, so you're going to have to tell him for me. It's not fair for me to support his stream, and he not support mine, just because he doesn't like what I said about Catherine. I'm not going to make fun of him about Catherine, so he needs to get his butt in here. No excuse. I'm sorry. We don't play that here. So, here's the plan. For better or worse. For better or worse, we finished Ash of Gods, which was amazing to play through, even if I do say so myself. Fantastic game. At this point, I'm stuck between Detention and Forgotten End. Forgotten End is more of a narrative puzzle game. It is far more... It is interesting, but I don't know if I want to play it right now. Detention is terrifying. Yeah. That's going to be half the fun try, because neither do I. I do not like... I don't remember. It has been over a year since everything went down with Walkerman. Let me explain what happens for the people who don't know. There were complaints last summer. Now, I was playing the game. Game was working fine. It was all good. And then some people complained on a few things, that some of the fights weren't working well, and the text, you couldn't tell who was talking in the text. Now, having played this game several times, I can tell you that's pretty much bullcrap. Relatively bullcrap. Like, it's not that difficult. It was not that difficult to figure out what was going on in the game. YouTube? Mike is here. What's up, Mike? Why was I told? You were told to come here, Michael. Because it is unfair for me to support your streams and your efforts in trying to survive death, and for you not to come here to watch me wrap up this game just because I made fun of your Belizean maid. Oh, and Catherine. We have to equal the scales here. We gotta equal the scales here. At least hang for the stream. It shouldn't be too long. And we'll leave. Don't worry, we're not gonna make fun of you or anything about the game you clearly don't want to play, even though it's a lot of fun. You don't want to play it, you don't have to play it. We'll just find something else to tease you about. Exactly. So yeah, I have no idea what's going on in Walkerman. So yeah, that's the story. They set up the game. They started changing the game. And around this time, the game was just unplayable. You could not. Luckily, at that point, I had finished it privately, so I remember clearly how well it worked. But for a good 4 or 5 months, it was damn near unplayable, so I just gave up. Which is unfortunate because up until that point, until they started trying to fix stuff, it was a really good game. But it is what it is. Try, you are evil. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it up though, because it is one of those streams that I never completed. Hopefully, like, my plan is, honestly, if I remember correctly, we're almost at the end anyway. So I'm going to try and one-shot this tonight. And Friday or Saturday, we'll get back to business. I'll decide whether I want to get... I'll decide how much I want to sleep on Friday. If I don't care, or if I do it early enough, I'll do Detention. If it's a little bit later in the night, I'll do Forgotten Anne. That way, it'll kind of even up. So let's go ahead and switch it up. I know you guys are... Everybody's busy, and thank you for coming to the stream. But we're gonna go ahead and... Did they actually make it more... Did they actually make it more Y'all ain't right. The text box. Well, some people were complaining about the final battle, but I honestly did not see that much of an issue with it myself. And there were people saying, and I'm pretty sure I said this already and you just weren't here. There were people saying that they couldn't tell who was talking based on the text of the game, which was kind of ridiculous. Hold on, let me see something right quick. Oh. Y'all, I'm an idiot. I was just sitting there like, okay, why can't I read my damn chat? What's going on the screen? Because it should be on the screen. There it is. Like, what's up? Crystal Collie, hello. Welcome to our insanity. It's not going to get any better than what you're seeing right now. Wait, tell you, oh yeah, that was a little bit of randomness there. I do apologize. But yeah, welcome, Crystal. We will try. I was expecting Sup, because other than selling her baby in Ash of Gods, Sup was very intent on being here the next time I played this game. But it is what it is. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try and one-shot this tonight and finish up all of our business and move on. If I could find where that missing sailor's clothes were found, and they could also provide some further insight, there might even be some clues left around the site of his taking. And the audio, I did not mess with the audio or anything, but if anybody's having issues with audio, let me know. If I remember correctly, we are, not a soldier, but a sailor disappeared by some creep in the night. We now have to find the clues we need to get the tools we need to defeat the zombie or the ghoul or whatever the hell it is. We're all special here. Or at least that's what we all tell ourselves. Gets us through the night. Audio's good? Good. I cross into the harbor alley once again and make my way towards Luxie's office. Luxie? Luxie, is Jorgen. Got something to ask of you. What now? I ain't got the time, Poucher. But yeah, like, this is what broke the game, if anybody was wondering. You notice how they leave the names in now? The inclusion of those names broke this damn thing. I'm still kind of shocked. I just want to talk for a heartbeat. This got anything to do with you spilling paint all over my alley? Ah. Knew that was you. Who's gonna clean that up, huh? Reckon it'll just dry up and blow away in a day or two. But listen, I got something to ask, and it's important. I mean, you want this thing taken care of or not? I'm busy, Raider. Make it quick. I need to know more about Asmund. Like what? I already told you. He spent too much coin on trifles and too much time with women. And can you describe the jewelry he was wearing that night? And the only thing you remember is that he was wearing jewelry? Luxie hesitates. Looksy? Can't rightly say he was wearing any. Mother of mercy. Looksy, I need to know why that thing went after him and not you. And I'd love to tell you that, Raider. Anyway, got stuff to do. One more time, what happened that night? Anything else you can remember? It's starting to piss me off, Palcher. Alright, one last time. It was coming home from the whale. We stopped to piss over by the rain wells. Who pissed, Desmond? Nah, I did. And as I was buttoning up, we heard something in the alley. See, we looked at each other, and then Asmund pulled his dagger out of his boot. Mother of mercy, Raider, I can't. I can't. You heard the story already. Leave me alone. He pulled a blade out of his boot. Looks, he doesn't respond, instead taking off towards the pier without so much as saying a goodbye. He pulled a blade. With the morning investigation complete, I take my lunch. With little other option for company, I find myself heading towards the pot house. Hey, it's these assholes. I remember these assholes. It's quiet for me, but I might not just minor Buffy. Audio hasn't blown out my ears yet. So for some people it's too loud, and for some people it's too soft. What the heck? I don't know. Crystal, you try double check your audio, because that might just be a you thing. I don't know. Like, the characters carry this game very well, I must say. I arrived to find Bowen and Sif seated at the center table. The conversation grinds to a halt as I let the door close. Damn it, I avoid eye contact, keeping my head down as I kick the mud off my boots. And I take a seat at a far corner of the room. I can feel their pupils trail me across the pothouse though, like cats after a fish is weighed. I'm technically not eating alone, and given the circumstances, I can't really be blamed for the degeneracy anyway. Herring's still fresh. 3 coppers in it comes with the pot, Olga tells me. See, this is this just made the game more confusing. You have her talk, and it's highlighted what she says, then it's not highlighted. Well, excuse me, the narration or the inner monologue isn't highlighted. Like, they tried to make it easier, and they just made it worse. Trouble filtering out the background noise. Oh, okay, gotcha. Like, Mike, you haven't even seen the main girls. Like, Olga's just the side girl. Like, you gotta calm down, man. We haven't even gotten there yet. Thank you kindly. Bowen and Sif's conversation picks up again as she disappears into the back room. It's the low, drawled voice of Rumor. Shithead. I turn around on my stool. Say something over there? Yes, I was referring to you as a shithead, but that was a private conversation. The floorboards groan. Commitment? Even I don't know that one. With the scrape of pivoting benches. Sif's ascent from his seat is glacial, swinging one leg over and then the other, the soles of his boots dropping with the clunk of ratcheting siege engines. And with a grunt of joy, the poucher assumes his full height, a galleon unfurled, and to his aft, the bog hopper tips his drink into his mouth and grins. We meet 4 paces apart. Got a problem? I ask, but I might as well menace the Seagate. Yes, I do, but I reckon this problem will solve itself. Because my problem would rather nap in the shore grass all afternoon than work his contract. And he spends every night in his pots, too. He's one dumb son of a bitch, my problem. I pull back for a haymaker. The Sif reads it early and blades his body away, angling my blow into the meat of his shoulder. And he catches me on the bridge of my nose while I'm off balance. Blood runs red over my chin like a glutton's wine, and tinges my lips with the taste of copper. He follows it with a right hook, battering me in the temple. It's like we're getting our ass kicked. Like, Side girls can be good. Side girls can be cute too. We'll just wait until you see some of the main ones and we'll see. We're waiting. I didn't do this. I didn't get in a bar fight like he chose to do it on his own. I'm just over here. And now I'm seeing the lights. The nighttime wheeling over her head. Now why the hell did I go and do a thing like that? I wonder as the sparks pop before my eyes. But I'm still on my feet when it all fades. Just a little bit. There we go. Oh, I do want to say they recorded an entirely new track as well and inserted that into the game, because originally this track, I believe, was a version of Dixie or Dixieland, and people were complaining that it was racist. And with all the other connotations in the game about racism and everything, I think they were feeling a little bit edgy of it. But this song is good too. Like, the whole soundtrack was always really good. This is a good addition. Sif hesitates, perhaps still waiting for me to totter over like a cut tree. So I flip him to... Oh my god. The main character just doesn't learn. I just can't help myself. He advances again, fist braced in front of his face. Thinking quickly, I lash my leg out and knock a bar stool into his path. He manages to keep himself from tripping, but lowers his guard a bit. When I pull my hand back from the punch, it's cut and stinging from his upper canines. Olga appears from the back room, her voice shrill and pleading over the fisticuffs. Outside! Take it outside! Sif collects himself, fire and brimstone in his eyes. I try to give him a shove, but he bounds forward and tosses a quick 3 into my gut. I exhale hard, ejecting snot and gore down my face and onto the frosted Sif's shirt. Try, maybe they will take your suggestions for Act 2. I'm still waiting for Act 2. Like, this was one of my favorite games last year, and we still haven't been blessed with a sequel. Which kind of goes into Chris's whole thing about sequel games. He throws again, but catches the crown of my head by mistake, and his knuckles go off like cannon fire. I cock my legs, grab the fallen bar stool, and have a go with it as my makeshift battering ram, running it full tilt into the Walkerman's chest. The impact manages to send Sif backwards, and the giant goes crashing into the table behind him. 2 platefuls of food spill to the ground, and Bo lifts his pot up to save the drink from a similar fate. Like, okay, can we, we need a consensus right now in chat. Try needs to sing Country Roads Take Me Home on his next stream. That needs to be a thing. I vote aye. Do I have a second? Hey, you two. Olga's voice is but a distant chiming. Had enough? I ask, applying my thumb to my nose and forcing more blood out. I get a boot to my kneecap as a response, and I land seated on a low bench. No more! Olga gets between the two of us with her arms outstretched. It's about over anyway, Bo guesses. Sif puts an arm on the table to help himself up. If I catch you without your pouches on again, we're going to do this somewhere without bar stools. I glance down at my waist and discover that I have in fact forgotten the damn pouches. That's enough. You two get out. And you, eat your fish and then get out too, you bunch of clowns. That's how this works. What do you have in mind, Try? And don't say Catherine, because I don't think I can download the game. Bob downs the rest of his drink before starting towards the door. Sif follows. And I notice that the poucher is trying not to limp. That's right. All those years of digging and hauling out on the homestead, I'm not an easy mark anymore. And blood all over you, Olga sighs. I'll get you a rag. I wipe my nose down the length of my shirt, darkening it with a stain that spreads along its fibers like a red wedding floodplain. And I try not to shed a tear, but it's damn near impossible after a hit to the nose like that. Quickly, before she gets back, I dig the weakness out of my eyes. Thanks. I place the rag on my face and blow my nose in it, surreptitiously soaking up a few more tears. But don't you be fighting in the whale again. The hell is wrong with you? I'm having a bad day. Oh, I don't give a damn about your bad day. All my days are bad. And my nights too. Mother of mercy, the piss and the vomit, every night. She grabs the rag and heads into the back room with a snarl. Boys. Oh, excuse me, no, it's not boys, it's boys. No, Olga's not impressed with us starting a bar fight over not wearing our Walkerman bag. I am not getting any drought frames right now. Because the Mike JP triathlon. We have been talking about that for a while. We do actually need to do it. Oh, okay. He's got. That's what it is. Mike, just hang in there. You'll be back with us soon. With a grunt, I drape myself over Gregor's bench. My nose pulses, and I find the drumbeat pain all too familiar. A memento of earlier times, of staying away from the alleyways where they knew me, and sticking close to Gregor, even at his worst. Of keeping my head down at the table and growing wise to the subtleties. Dad never spoke first. And that night when something banged against the window, we all saw it looking in, but nobody said a word. All of us in the kid's bed, wide awake, pretending not to know, except for Brant, who was crying slowly. Crying very slowly. I don't remember falling asleep. But I wake to find Gregor standing over me. What the hell happened to your nose? I got the scrap. Scrap with who? Sif. Crone fucking tits. Got him as good as he got me, I lie. Gregor shakes his head. This ain't gonna go over well with the boys. Hey, he started it. I need a drink. He sighs, flinging open a cabinet and retrieving a bottle in a short cup. Now, Gregor takes a swig, ignoring his cup and going straight for the bottle. Gregor is awesome. Drinking during the day. I hope he hasn't made a habit of it. Now, why in the hell do you go and do a thing like that? Like I said, he started it. I didn't get a choice. I sit upright on the bench and swing my legs onto the ground. He's been hassling me ever since I got here. 2 nights ago at the well, he tried to scare me out of walking here. Gregor quaffs another drink and winces. So, he burps into his hand. So he said, what exactly? Don't walk the harbor? Don't walk the harbor. You're gonna get your dumbass killed. Stuff like that. Yeah, well, that last bit. Maybe you should listen to that? Gregor puts the bottle down hard, giving me a start. What you even doing this for anyway? The coins ain't that good, and it's dangerous than hell. Nobody will appreciate it. Shit, everybody will hate you for doing it. And this ain't one of those things you can help neither. It ain't like being a cripple or an idiot. You ain't born into this. You saw the shit your old man had to deal with. Gregor turns the palm up. Why? Finally, the question surfaces. How many nights did I lie awake in bed and debate this with myself? I feel it, I begin. You feel it? Gregor sneers. It's like, it sounded a lot better in my head, my little monologue. Out loud resonates as the stupid and hollow excuses of a boy who doesn't know what he's gotten himself into. I love the writing in this game so damn much. I find myself babbling and dropping my words to the floor. It's the feeling that you get when you're looking. I grit my teeth and try to squeeze my thoughts out through my mouth. It's like there's this deer track in my boot, but I can't find it, and the needling only stops when I walk the right way. Gregor crosses his arms. I see. See that you lost your damn mind. I can do this. I can try. Yeah, and you can try a dog's ass for a trumpet too, but it don't make it a good idea. I think I'm going to steal that one. Gregor sighs. Okay, so yeah, just good advice, everybody. Do not actually try a dog's ass for a trumpet. I don't like talking about this kind of shit, you know? I don't want to deal with this, Jorgen. But you got a bad habit of putting yourself in situations like this. And I can't bail you out of this one. I always kept you out of trouble, right? Can anybody ever even count how many times I stuck up for you? Look at you. You're even wearing that shirt my mother sewed for you. And who asked her to do that, huh? Who was the one who thought, oh, Jorgen's gonna need some clothes to go into while he's hiding out? I never gave your dad shit, Raider. Not once. Look at me, Jorgen. Look at me. Me and you, we're family. I'm the one, probably the only one you can trust in this city-state. So why? Give me a real reason. I'm trying, but my mind produces only dry heaves, and ignites a suspicion that maybe I never really had a good reason after all. But even so, I still feel that tugging sensation as if I was being led somewhere, and perhaps there's reason enough alone. That don't concern you, Gregor. Bullshit, it don't. Jorgen, this thing is gonna kill you. Kill me. A pile of clothes on the 4th floor. I'm running now, but I know damn well that I haven't got a chance of escaping. The well is black and endless hall, standing grim witness to the chase, and come beckoning over the sound of my panicked footfalls, whispering an offer. Offer I can't understand, but I do understand, and its terror is rooted deep in instinct primal memory. We race beneath the towering forms of trees, anointed by their ligneous caresses, and I whiz in anticipation of another more wretched touch. I snag a catch me, kill me vine by the throat, and am taken to the floor by it. I can hear their laughter now, getting closer, shrieking like a pack of dogs. A shoe on the back of my head, dirt in my mouth. I should have hidden the mood today. And I came back to y'all, you fucking degenerates. Booze and whore degenerates. I think I came back to this. A bunch of dirty animals. Dirty animals. Dirty animals. Dirty fucking animals. Snap out of it! Yeah, the writing is extraordinarily well. I can't say the same for my narration. I'm doing the best I can do, and I appreciate the thought there, Mike. My face stings. A fresh rivulet of blood trickles down my nose. For the love of the Maiden Raider, you ain't gone weird, have you? Nah, everything is fine. And I'm doing it. I'll let them know well and good. I ain't listening to you. I ain't listening to nobody. The waning lights rays crest the window, melting into the room and bathing it in orange. Others are hand to block the glare. Talking to Luxie about what went on between me and Sif. No, I'll talk to him. You just... The light floods Gregor's eyes, catching his pupils and heating them bright like firing coals. Just take care of that fox problem, alright? Okay, I agree. Moving closer toward McGear. I'm going to be out with the boys tonight, Gregor informs me as I throw the hauberk over my head and buckle the straps. So I probably won't be here come morning. And listen, these kind of things happen, you know? We're to fight sometimes. Don't beat yourself up over it. It's just 2 more tears in the bucket, so fuck it. Oh man, this game is so damn good. Gregor flips open the door and leaves me with that little advice. I just spend the rest of the afternoon hearing it over and over again in my head. I hook my thumb into my load-bearing belt on my way to the alley. Fear still bites, but shame and indignation proves the stronger motivators. I put my hand to my hilt at the maw of twisting briars. After my interview with Luxie, I reckon I know why that thing went after Asmund, but I need to know for sure. No sooner than I draw the blade, I hear that thing stirring up ahead. It's heading this way fast. I let the weapon drop with a clang. Immediately, the footfalls stop, and then slowly pace back up the alleyway. My gaze falls to the sword laying on the dusty cobbles. I lift it up by the hilt, but then drop it again when I hear that thing turn up ahead. Even just gripping the naked blade seems to trigger it. So I start kicking my sword across the harbor. It goes rattling over C Street and spinning across the cobbles. And as I drag it out, of a pothole with my boot, I can't help but think about the complications this adds to the contract. Well, I reckon it's best I found out sooner than later, I say to the weapon, now lying in the weeds, sprouting up around Gregor's place. If I pulled you on that thing without knowing, yeah, might have gone out for wool and come home shorn. So what we've learned, is that it's attracted to blades, swords, whatever. So, yeah, we probably will. So basically, every kind of ghost creature, whatever, has rules that it abides by, like ways that it goes about actually haunting people. Our job as Walkerman is to figure out the rules, use it against it, and then find a way to kill it. So whenever we draw a sword at night, it attracts whatever is out there. I hesitate at the alley's entrance and listen for any signs of the thing. Nothing. This place is grave silent. I flip open my pouches and head deeper into the briars. Although this thing seems docile for now, I can't just assume that I'll have the whole night for experiments. Every move I make has to count. Okay. Let's see what happens when I toss the coin. Once I hear the footfalls return, I flip the platinum coin into the alleyway. A pair of prints beelines towards it. And like some parlor trick, the coin hovers in the air for a moment before flipping over and settling back into the mud. I take a knee to examine the item. It's now laying heads up. I turn the coin over and once again hear something come a shuffling from further up the alleyway. As I suspected, this thing has returned to place the coin heads up. What about just the regular copper? I repeat the process, tossing a few coppers into the alleyway and producing the same result. Alright, we've learned something there. We can use coins against it. Looks like this thing has to flip over any coins laying on their tail ends. That could provide a number of uses, a lure, a distraction, or even an escape method. Reaching into the alleyway, I wave one of the burnt bones around. Footprints push into the mud ahead of me, but the thing doesn't seem to take any notice of the item. The Catch Me Kill Me vines, however, seems oddly disturbed by it. As I pass the bone over a coil, its vines reach out for the item. I back up a few paces and the coils follow, inching across the ground on its thorny tendrils. And I soon discover that it's possible to move entire sections of the Catch Me's around. Odd. I wasn't aware that the weird itself followed rules. Not something that Dad mentioned. And again, he didn't mention a lot of things. I placed the bone in his pouch. The Catch Me go still once again. Well, we know how this is going to go, but hey. Yeah, so that is like a riddle. And wait, Orphan. Remember when Orphan drops the money onto the floor that causes the little dwarf? What kind of weird crap happened in Orphan? That's what I want to know. What is that? I pause and reach for the slip knee, wondering if it'll turn the thing hostile. So I pluck at the hilt, pulling it on it quickly while listening for any changes in that thing's behavior. Yes, it's taking notice. Even lightly tugging on the broken dagger seems to trigger the thing. I best leave any kind of weapon alone for now. I freeze at the sound of footfalls coming this way, but somehow they don't sound like that thing. So I duck hastily in the shadows and wait. And soon an unmistakable figure casts its shadow across the dirt and crabgrass. Sif pauses as if waiting for something. And for a heartbeat, I'm left wondering whether he spotted me. But then the poucher takes a knee and plants something in the dirt. Squinting does not help to discern the object. It looks like a length of rope tied to a stick or something. A sudden noise sends him fleeing from the alley. Soon the telltale footprints appear, making their way towards the item. Strange machinations are afoot. He's definitely triggered it, though it's difficult to tell exactly how. After a moment, the prints are on the move again, seemingly satisfied with their rule. And Sif ducked hastily into the alleyway and out again, retrieving his tool. I shimmy along the wall and peek out from the other side. Just in time to spy Sif carrying his item into Bo's house. A dead snake. He returns a moment later with some jewelry in hand, and I reckon I'll leave the Walkerman to his investigation for now. I kick off my boots and take a seat on the bench. Alright, so the first thing I'll need to do is hit it with the grenade. Once it's been painted, I'll need to trap it. Thankfully, that should be doable with some burnt bones and a handful of coins. I can lay some coppers down and then trap that thing in the cash reins while I was busy flipping the coins over. But then again, if it was that easy, I'm sure Sif would have completed the contract already. A dead snake, huh? I puzzle over what uses Sif might have for that item. But I come up empty like the bucket of a dry well and soon drift off to sleep. I sit upright as Gregor tilts. Just getting a notification about something else. That's business I can do tomorrow. We'll take care of it then. I sit upright as Gregor tilts open the front door, gently at first, and in his usual brusque manner when he notices that I'm awake. I had lain in sloth for what seemed like an eon before his arrival, listening to the morning birds and ruminating. And though I cannot recall the contents of my dream, it's just as well. I know what five-pronged shape haunts them. Morning, he says with a yawn. Morning, Gregor. Gregor grabs 2 plates from the clean stack, which still haven't been replaced within their cupboard. Breakfast is wordless. The clicks and scrape of utensils is deafening. A bee shoulders its way through the tall short grass and onto the porch and inspects my breakfast in slow, circling strafes. I shoo him away half-heartedly as my cousin manages to dredge up some small talk. Hot out today. Yep, I reply, hurriedly finishing my plate and dumping it in the wash bucket. Master Froggy should have the grenade ready today, which gives me a convenient excuse to get away from here. It's a bath of heat inside the city-state. Just the walk to the sea gate has me sweating. The surf con has retreated from the bake oven area to C Street's shaded tributaries. Yet they linger at the cuffs of each alley, hanging their heads out in sunlight, and I fully understand why so many of the loiterers have their shirts pulled up over their noses. The foul odors wafting in from the byways are incredible, even at this distance. The carpets of chamber pots leavings have been set to a boil. It's not that difficult to imagine the source of the smell as the city-state itself is in decay. Hey, bro, I remember this guy. This guy was pretty cool. Hey, bro, surprised me in the lobby. Morning, bro. What are you doing here? Can't pick something up. What happened to your nose? I banged it, I explained, pressing on my bridge and reigniting the dull pain. You see the Sandman? He'll be back down in a moment, and he'll have your thing too. I was thinking of taking it over to the harbor if you didn't show up. I didn't comment on it, but his kindness is becoming overreaching. Faraji! The sound of his heeled feet on the stone signals Faraji's arrival. Ah, the Walkerman himself. Have your grenade, he announces and produces a small metal can. Here you are. Careful not to play with the trigger. What happened to your face? I banged it! Well then, Faraji displays the grenade for me. Nice. It indicates a slit at the top with his bandaged stump. The solution will spray from the nozzle right here. Simply pull this ring, he explained, fiddling with the metal band, and throw it away. Then release the thumb clip here. But keep your hand on the spoon when the thumb clip comes off, or it'll separate from the device too early. And, well, we wouldn't want that. Lastly, push this here, he indicates a red button on the slit running up the grenade's side. All the way down before you release the spoon. When the device fires, its contents will begin to spray immediately. So, throw it away from yourself. Throw it away from yourself quickly. Unless, of course, you like to brighten up your outfit. Turning to Bora, Faraji hesitates. What was the other thing you needed? Wait, what am I doing again? Pull the ring, then the thumb clip, and keep your hand on the spoon until you slide the lever down. Then release the spoon and throw. One more time. The Sandman pets his beard. Perhaps it will be best to give you a little ditty for it. Ring, clip, hold, slide, release, and throw, he says in a sing-song. And again, guessing it up a little this time. Ring, and clip, and slide, and throw. Ring, clip, slide, throw, I repeat, and turn the device over a few times, examining the parts. The Sandman doesn't bother to hide his look of worry. Take care, Crystal. Thanks for showing up a little bit. You have a good night. Enjoy playing your games. Nah, this guy. Immersion. Y'all ain't right. Yes, well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Try to remember the ditty. And what was I getting you again? Faraji turns to Bora. Platinum fittings. Faraji sighs. I suppose I'll have to climb the stairs again. As for you, Walkerman, any further questions? How much paint's in this thing? It's not paint, but there's enough solution in there to stain anything, and everything, in the general area where it burst. Which is usually 4 to 5 cubits. I mean somewhere around 2 paces. Alright, I dropped the device in my largest pouch and fastened it shut. Got it. Thanks, Faraji. It was a privilege. Hey, let me know if you need anything, Bora requests, sensing that I mean to take off. Drop by North Market anytime. Sure, I say, and quickly quit the lobby. Thankfully, Bora will be caught up waiting for Faraji, because I'm not in the mood to spend time with him today. Or anyone, really. Usually this is where someone shows up and like, oh, I'm just a ticked off guy. I just want to be alone right now. Somebody's going to show up and ruin our day. Stepping outside, I'm thrust back into the swelter. Even in the shade of the inner city narrows, the air itself seems to wither in the heat, drawing up the wavering growths of mirages from the rooftops and ruined walls. I consider cutting through the filth-strewn alley, but the smell makes me gag, and so I decide to take the long way around, back to C Street. Well, called that one. Oh, Jorgen, hi. See, there you go, Mike. All the main girls have their own songs. Siad has surprised me at the byway's juncture with a curious accuracy, as if having augured my home route. Siad, we seem to keep running into each other, is what I say, but I'm not naive enough to chalk these run-ins up to mere coincidence. It's a small world, ain't it? I hope that don't mean you're, like, stalking me now, she adds with a wink. Oh, her eyes widen. Your nose. She reaches for my face and presses lightly on the sides of my dorsum. That's no good. Who did this to you, she asks, letting her hand linger there. I just banged it, I tell her and pull my face away. No, you didn't. Don't lie to me. I can tell. Who did that to you? I'm fine, thanks. I shift my bearings to make clear that I'm trying to get out of here. To my surprise, Sia steps in front of me. Was it the Harbor Boys? What? No. Listen, I've got work stuff to take care of. Did I, do something to upset you? Nah, you just keep catching me at bad times, so. Oh. She bows her head. Well, okay then. It wasn't a lie. Sia does tend to appear at only the most inopportune moments. We could always do something later, I say suddenly, surprising myself as much as her. Sia perks up. Oh, I like that. Did I really just ask her that? Yes, you did! It did take a minute. Mike was like, surely something's going on, but I can't be concerned with that right now. But yes, he asked her that. Man, get that girl's number or address. I don't think they have numbers in this universe. And did she really just agree? You promise? Her face remains as still as ever, but the look in her eyes now. Oh, mother of mercy. But the other girls in the city state aren't exactly lining up for me. Sure, we'll go around sometime. If I'm still alive, anyways. I should make promises if I can't keep them. I'll, be counting on it, you know? Sia gathers up her dress and sets off across C Street, hastened by alacrity. Alacrity? Yeah, it's alacrity. Excuse me. I pause in the street as if awaiting this to turn to ashes in my mouth, expecting anything to go wrong. Why would you do this to yourself? Now something is definitely going to go wrong, you idiot. But no, Sid and I will soon be going around, as they say. Going around, a concept that's quite common now, but unthinkable in bygone times. The vague, badly battered image of a construct comes to mind. Proper introductions, meeting fathers, and tying on knots of specific symbolic flowers. Crow knows those days are long gone now. Maybe I should just be happy with what I've got. Shut up and smile for once. After all, I'm sure I'll have an opportunity to meet her family later. I make my way back towards the Seagate, wading through the humidity. Hey, look who's... Mike? Now Mike! Mike, you have to promise. Down, boy. That's all I gotta say. Hey, yeah, I guess going around is kind of like going on a date. Jorgen is very traditional and conservative. What he wants is a girl that he can introduce himself to, her family, and get their approval, and go through this whole thing. But the closest he's getting to that is Syed. Syed is the closest to the conservative end of this game spectrum when it comes to women. And then you come back to this. Try, you're not helping. And I discover a girl of unmistakable appearance waiting by his hatchway, surrounded by a small cluster of raiders. The group takes off as I approach her. You're looking for me. Kaola startles at the sound of my voice and grins. Anatello is attending language lessons in the Noble Quarter, so I thought this would be a good opportunity. Your cousin told me that you had left, but he did not know where you had gone. What happened to you? What happened to you? Now, see, this is humor in games. When a joke works, keep letting it work. I just banged it. And what was that? I asked, gesturing towards the surf kind now disappearing down a byway. They come to me for the tobacco. Would you care for some? Nah. I carry a bit with me at all times. I've found it a good way for getting talkings. And speaking of talkings, I muttered, stalling for an excuse. I had planned to shut myself inside Gregor's house for the rest of the day. This heat ain't bothering you? Oh no, this is quite pleasant for me. You know a place we could go? Today? I don't know. It will not take long, I promise. I reckon we can go to North Market, except my eyes draw towards her open shirt. Her open shirt. Excuse me. Why? She's not even performing right now. See? Yeah. Mike, stop it. Oh lordy. And she's I guess you could say she's a diplomat. She, like, they don't grow tobacco. Like, this is one of the great things about the game. It is world building. They don't grow tobacco in Midgard, and people aren't trading with them right now because they're in a serious depression. So when she came, one of the things she brought with her, along with her partner in crime, who performs their music and expands their culture, but she also brought things like tobacco with her because that's something that they don't have. So it's one of those small world building things that makes such perfect sense. Like, and it goes back to history, which also makes sense. Like, tobacco mostly grows in warmer climates, so it would make sense that if anybody has any kind of cash crop, around here, it would be her, and it would be her tobacco. So. The point I'm trying to make, I'm sorry for the confusion, but the point I'm trying to make is somebody really thought about the story and really went out of their way to make it good. That's all you really need to know. Following my gaze, Cola stares into her red crevasse and then quizzically back at me. Why'd you dress like that? Probably of charges to tobacco. Well, at least Mike is typing, which means both hands are indeed on his keyboard. No, look at her face. She knows what she's doing. Look at that. You can't trick us. We know what that smug look means. Why am I dressed like what? These are my clothes. You ever think about putting a shirt on? You ever think about sucking it? Oh, she's gonna be fun. I mean, I understand your concern. I'm used to this kind of misreception. But your cousin is dressed similarly, is he not? Gregor's a man. Yes, and a hairy one. Would you not prefer for him to cover up instead? But please, I'm quite welcome around the city-state. No one will say anything to us. Kyle's mouth twists into a grin. And more importantly, no one will do anything. Or they will end up in the metal things? The pillories? Yes, the pillories. My friend in the Noble Quarter, he said he would go there. They would go in there he said they would go in there if I was treated rudely. I bite my tongue. I wonder which noble master is promoting this kind of degeneracy. But then again, what connections this girl must have to accrue these kinds of favors? Networking. I sigh and hook my thumbs into my load-bearing belt. A promise is a promise, after all. Alright, let's go then. But only because you said it ain't gonna take long. Oh yeah, sorry. As soon as we're seated at the communal, Kyla begins to talk. And mother of mercy, can this girl talk? She's ignored her food. Less eating interrupts her unsolicited running commentary on Midgard and its environs. On, and it's in the half-inquisitive, half-authoritative tone of someone who clearly solved all the greatest problems. It is merely guiding us through purposeful questions. We sit at a lonely end of the communal, deserted save for the balding Freeman, who is eavesdropping on us and sneaking glances at Cola's chest. And I understand that these things, the constructs and the degeneracy, they are this sort of pairing of moral opposites. In fact, they seem quite similar to our own concepts of protocol and not protocol. But what are they? She asked, issuing me my allowance of participation in this conversation. How would you describe them? Let's start. Mike, you have to understand, she is questioning everything that the main character believes in, and she won't put on a shirt, okay? You have to understand, she will not put on a shirt. That is degenerate. Yeah, I think we will start with degeneracy. Degeneracy, basically, is acting like an animal. Like an animal? Yeah, you know, fighting and stealing, stuffing your face at the table, drinking yourself stupid every night. not wearing a full set of clothes. Kyla smirks, catching by hint. So that is why you wear a heavy shirt and pants in the summer. Yeah. I inch out of the sun and further beneath the awning shade. So eating and drinking and these kind of things, you think they are evil? No, but the point is that we ain't thralls to appetites like animals are. Mike, I like how you're just like, yeah, he's good and moral. Try to tell you he's good and moral, and you just shrug your shoulders. Wow. Animals live for nothing but food, drink, and sleep. Kyla produces a stick of charcoal and begins to write, scribbling an odd smear of interconnected runes onto a parchment. And we ain't like that. Well, we ain't supposed to be. It was better back in the day. Jorgen is like 17. He sounds like he's 90. Kyla stops her writing and looks up. But this sounds like the words of every sour old man. No, we'll let Mike be uncensored for that one. We'll let that one be free, but you cannot mock the main character just because he is of a good moral standing, Mike. This is what we want in people. Like, we don't want these degenerate protagonists that try and form harems and can't make up their mind. We want strong-willed young men who will stand for something and wear a shirt. You say innocence, we say moral turpitude. That's what we say. Isn't that right, Try? Every old man remembers that things were better back in his day. And you think every one of them remembers wrong? Their fathers probably said the same thing. And they'd be right too. Because every generation we're sliding just a little further downhill. And you'd think that if you are continuing in this way, then you will become animals. Yeah. Yes? Surely you do not think that undoing your shirt will turn you into a dog or something. Tarkov interesting. I have a feeling like she's just dying to just reach over and force him to take his shirt off. Like, whenever they put out Act 2, she's literally going to be the one to just get him to start doing. She's going to get him to get drunk. Like, that's like, she is the troublemaking friend of all of them. Nah, but it'll weaken the concept of decency. And when you weaken one construct, you weaken them all. You already understand what the constructs are, don't you? Decency, laws, hospitality, stuff like that. Yes, but explain more, please. Well, they exist, but they exist in our minds, so it's hard to nail them down, you know? I pick up an empty bowl from the table and show it to her. Like this bowl. Is it a bowl or a saucer? That is a bowl. Yeah. Wait, shit. Let me start over. Decency ain't like this bowl, because you can't see it with your eyes. It gets its form from everybody thinking together. But then you can change the construct by imagining it differently, no? Exactly. And that's why we need the cult, so that don't happen. That's what I'm hearing as well, Try. You can't just pick and choose, you know? Because you might say, oh, I shouldn't have to wear a full set of clothes when it's hot out. I'm smarter than that. I can handle it. But when another raider sees that, he'll start thinking for himself too. And what if he decides he's too smart to start a family? Or what if he thinks he can handle drinking all day? Turning into animals. That's the Baron this thing sets us on. But would a raider really make these leaps in logic? That would be stupid. And stupid's real too. I mean, that's a fair enough point. What? Stupid is real too. Sorry. Just because something's stupid doesn't mean somebody ain't gonna do it. Kyla mouths the words as she jots them down. So you will degenerate into animals if you do not obey the constructs. And the cult defines these constructs. Yep. Kyla picks what looks like a single word from her notes and circles it twice. Why do I get the feeling Okay. Thank you, Jordan. Very informative. The foreigner rolls up her nose and then smiles as she tucks him into her procedure. But I would like to ask, and I do not mean to offend. Go ahead. You wear a heavy saddle, heavier than other raiders. Or perhaps where you wear the saddle, most wear nothing at all. No, we ain't that bad, I tell her, but the dismissal feels hollow. Well, then at least they do not wear it so tightly. So why do you? I'm glad you asked, I'm glad you asked, actually. Let me explain with a little story. So, there's this dog, right? A lone stray with a mottled snout. She's in one of the alleys around here, eating trash out of a pile like most dogs do. And she's eating out the trash, smacking her chops and popping her jaw on an old boot when a man walks by. The man is the father of 3, and a staple of his small house, so he's going off like a good raider to fetch his house's rations. When he walks by the alley, the dog looks up with her muzzle full of trash, and as she watches him pass, she says to herself, wow, it must get awful tiresome to go around like that, up on 2 feet with his back straight. I can't reckon why a man would want to walk like that. Why don't he just get on all fours and crawl like I do? I let it hang on that note. I find that's the best way to end them. Let it all linger in the air for a bit. You gotta leave him with a little something heavy, you know. Just lay it out and let him come to the conclusion. Carla grins after a heartbeat, and I figure my pseudo Edda has sunken in. Very clever. That kind of meaning story is also popular in Zayapan. Here, I have one for you. A monkey hung down from a branch. He saw his face in the stream. The monkey screamed at this ugly sight. He clawed at the face in the stream, and when that monkey fell, he floated face up in the stream. Calling me a monkey? If I called you a monkey, would you act like one for me? I got you. Nah, you ain't gotta worry about me turning violent or nothing. I'm glad, because I must comment on the rated kind, and the things you have said. Go ahead, I ain't gonna get mad. For one thing, you drink. Raiders drink a lot. Enough that most will receive counseling in my home country. We're just in a tough spot right now. We'll put everything back together again. I have heard your words now. You smell the culture dust around you, and then you say, we will put everything back together again. I'm not connected to the cult yet, but I've heard drips of their words as well. Is this really what they say? Things will get better? It seems that your teachings disagree with you. No, what the cult's talking about, they're talking about the far future, you know? We'll fix everything up again. You'll see. And when you entertain this fantasy, do you dream of the raiding? Yeah, hopefully we'll start the raids again. And that is not degenerate, going to some other place and taking their things. Nah, you don't understand, I say with a laugh. Kylo is laughing too, but somehow she isn't smiling. Raiding ain't degenerate, it's like hunting or fishing. I mean, we ain't doing it to people. Real people. It's, make Midgard great again. That's what it is. Now, this is kind of why they kind of took Dixie out, by the way. Godlanders are a race of subhuman degenerates, so they don't count. The last ray of the Kylo's laughter waned rather quickly. What? They don't obey any social construct. They're basically animals. They steal from each other. They're shameless drunks and gluttons. When they conquer each other's villages, they kill everyone and make totems out of their bodies. Some sailors say they even drink the blood of children and come to equinox to please their false god. I mean, you might as well ask us to stop hunting game. When boars hold a marriage ceremony, maybe we will. I will admit I have not yet met a Gotlander, she began slowly. Like, I personally enjoy the fact that he is just an open, honest racist, misogynist, stick up his ass theocrat, fascist. Like, This may be why Act 2 is taking so long. You will not get this in any other visual novel, at least not made in the West. Nobody has the balls to make a character like this. And you heard it here first on VNs Now. Yeah, I can tell, because your head's still on your shoulders. Kala says nothing further and covers her mouth with a hand. So we sit in silence for a while, and I find myself gazing out across the marketplace. Just in time to spy Sied slinking out of view. Damn it! I knew something would go wrong. Jorgen? Yeah, I reply offhandedly, suppressing the urge to abandon her and go chasing after Sied. What about other races? The not Godlanders? For raiding? Sandmen are too far away, and the herd chasers ain't got nothing worth taking. The Milkskins are pretty bad. Milkskins are pretty bad, but they always paid their tribute. And most of our vulture merchants here were Milkskins anyway. Milkskins and birdies. I see. Jorgen, and am I degenerate? I don't know, I replied quickly. Though I made up my mind when I started shaking her rear in that pothouse. Because of the clothing? Well, but I follow all of your laws, do I not? What's degenerate ain't always illegal. I see. And what is illegal is not always degenerate, correct? In fact, I have found that there is even a bit of degeneracy within status collectivism. I suppress a groan, having noticed that glint in her eye. She's been dancing around the subject this entire interview, but I could tell that politics were her chief interest. The primitive acquisition of the noble kind is just an animal. I would compare it to a pack of wolves, really. No, it ain't, I tell her, and wonder if the question was truly born of innocence, or whether she's grabbing my oar. Leadership in wolf packs is decided by scraps. The strongest leads the pack. Then the strongest wolf, he makes wolf babies with all the girl wolves by himself. They ain't no marriage friends, and they don't got laws that say they can't kill each other or nothing. They got no loyalty neither. When the strongest looks weak, he gets pounced on. This city stays full. Get it together, JP. Sad people are animals. I killed them all. Yes, grabbing his oar. Don't look into it any deeper, Mike. This city state is full of combat, Kala interjects. Two braves just stabbed each other in a duel yesterday. A duel ain't the same thing. Duels are organized and both parties agree to them. Kala doesn't say anything but rolls her eyes. Do not question the constructs, young lady. Let's keep reasoning with her. And it ain't like duels just happen either. They got a writ from the Weeping King, didn't they? Kala paused, lips pursed. The Weeping King? Damn this tongue of mine. I mean the king, the Midgard commandant, the raider with the crown. He wears a crown? I thought you said the old soldiers threw those away. Things changed. And where is this Midgard commandant now? Why is he not fixing things? He's busy. I see. You know, I believe there are also kings in Gotland. Many of them. Yeah, but their legitimacy is based, if you even call it legitimacy. Once again, my thoughts refuse to synthesize on anything communicable. Stop looking at us like that. We know what we're talking about. It ain't the same thing. Kala rests a cheek in her palm and feigns a smile. The charade is purposefully thin and leaves me questioning the meaning of it. Gonna tell me there's no kings where y'all come from? A man needs a government, and a government needs a king. You know what? I reckon I've had enough of this. Kala smiled faltered. Please, do not be offended. I did not mean to insult you, but we've talked for so long that I've let the reins of my tongue go. In fact, I agree with you. Strong government is the root of civilization. But would you think that perhaps we are less degenerate? I mean, the Zyapin government, celestial bureaucracy, is a less degenerate form of status collectivism. Is that so? I deadpanned and glanced down to find a bead of sweat rolling its way across her bare cleavage. Focus, Jorgen. Focus. It is so. You may think that I'm degenerate, but in fact the opposite is true. And now it's my turn to let eyes roll. If social constructs are not degeneracy, Color continues unabated, then celestial bureaucracy must be like a dream come true for Raiders. Yeah, run that by me one more time. Our celestial bureaucracy is the result of over 2,000 years of advancing social constructs. For two millennia, the celestial bureaucracy has been expanding to meet the needs of the expanding celestial bureaucracy. So the bureaucracy has been expanding to meet the needs created by the bureaucracy. Nice. It has become so advanced that it takes a lifetime of study to learn the protocols of just one section of a single branch. Sounds confusing. It's not. For in celestial bureaucracy, you have no decisions to bungle. Everything from diet to crop rotation has been perfected. All you must do is follow the protocols presented to you. It is, in a sense, the ultimate social construct. And the celestial bureaucracy has never failed. Each time it suffers a setback, new regulations are fabricated, and machine launches for it again. Alright, so it's like, what? A council of elders? An army of bureaucrats. Thousands upon thousands of them. Departments the size of small cities. The Ministry of Agriculture determines what is planted, when and where. The Ministry of Logistics and Needs assigns everything from mining equipment to house pets. I could go on. Yeah, this sounds like the ultimate big government. And it is all based on the needs of each individual by the properly filled request and the determined validity of these requests. No king, no noble masters. The beauty of celestial bureaucracy is that, unlike status collectivism, nobody is really in charge of anything. Rather than obeying the beck and whim of some inherited ruler, all decisions are the result of proper people properly following proper protocols. Let me try that one more time. All decisions are the result of proper people properly following proper protocols. Copy bullshit. Well, I'm gonna leave that one alone. The seasons turn, the stars roll. They do not obey a whip. The voice is the arm and the tool that it wields. Well, yeah, wields. Celestial bureaucracy. We sit in silence for a while. Nicola's eyes do not leave my face. I reckon she's gauging my reaction. Well, I don't know, I tell her, if only to break the silence. I guess y'all got your ways and we got ours. There is a word in your language for a machine that is no longer useful, Carl up against carefully. Jorgen, please tell me this word. I scratch my head. You mean obsolete? Yes, the word. That is the word. This is the word. Obsolete. You have told me that status collectivism is now obsolete. I ain't said all that, I hiss, and crack my neck to see if the freeman heard. This machine is built to stop the Raider Cam from becoming animals, and it is failing to function. And if a machine becomes obsolete, then it must be replaced. You say that celestial bureaucracy is our way, but this means nothing. A good path is good for all feet. Please, Jorgen, consider what I've told you. I reckon it doesn't sound all bad. I brush sweat from my brow. The heat has suddenly become quite apparent. And I wish she'd take her eyes off me. Or blink for maiden's sake. Well, I gotta get back to the harbor now. Got some work stuff to do. Please, receive your coin, Carla tells me, and begins rifling through a pocket sewn on the inside of her tunic. I reckon that coin was going to be involved, though an exact amount was never specified. Hope it's at least more than what the meal cost me. I hadn't the gall to ask the girl if she wanted to split it. What's this? I asked, staring at the strange copper sheet that she's handed me. This is an exchange token. We do not use currency in Zion. However, after discovering this new world and its customs, we have decided that things will progress more smoothly if we started minting. What's this rune it's stamped with? It is just the amount of copper in each coin. That'll be easy to counterfeit. And these coins are too big. The edges ain't crimped either. The edges are not... What? The edges of the coins need to be crimped so milkskins can't shave them. I explained and pulled a copper out of my own to demonstrate. You see how my coppers got little ridges on their edges? That's because the milkskins used to shave our coins. And then later they melt the scrappings down and counterfeit more coins from them. You gotta put crimps on the edges so that the milkskins can't go cheating you. Interesting. I've met one of these milkskins already. I'm gonna need Rate a Coin if you want to keep doing business. I see, Kala murmurs, and replaces the coin on her shirt. I can get Rate a Coin in a moment. There's a man in the market that accepts my tokens. I've purchased cosmetics from him before. Cosmetics. I get up from my stool and follow Kala deeper into the stalls. Sounds like currency. It's not called currency, so it's not currency. That made perfect sense. Yes, I figured we'd end up here. Back with the birdies. Hold on. Let me get my So yeah, Mike, I think is this your first Walkerman stream? I'm pretty sure it is, because I haven't played it since last year, and I've already started, and I've long forgot it. So, well, I haven't forgot it, but I forgot some of the details. So yeah, I kind of figured. So you've met 2 of the main girls and 1 side girl. There's still 3 others. I don't think we'll get to them, but. We're almost at the end, man, I think. Yeah, I figured we'd end up here. Kepko's eyes brighten as he notices Kala's approach, and he's positively beaming when he spots me behind her. His hands clasp within a ho. The little bird has come back for more. She's brought my new poucher friend. Do you have time to exchange right now? I have run out of the little coppers. Of course, just tell me. Just let me. Kepko stumbles hastily into the back of his awning and unlocks a coin box with trembling excitement. I do not need any more of his things. Maybe there is something you want from here? Well, I pass a glance over the curios staged about Kepko's stall and tantalizing trays. Hey Kepko, how much is this stuff anyway? Kepko winks and hiding his hand behind his arm, points at Kala. No, you dirty freeman, I whisper. Kepko rolls his eyes. The price depends on what you're buying, Poucher. Pick something. Yeah. Let's go with the snake's tail. What is it? I hold the bottle up to the light and give it a little shake. That is the tail of a curious snake from Africa, where the ships don't dare. South past the deserts of Araby. They say man's skin is the color of ink there, and that he rarely descends from his garden-girdled pyramid cities. So terrible and weird is the jungle around him. The snake grows little beads in its tail, and when it's ready to strike, it shakes them around. They call it a Thaban sand. I'm gonna say I got that right. Give me the girl. Mike, you are not helping. And you didn't put the beads in there yourself? Of course not. You have similar creatures in Zayapang, Kala chirps. I find it believable. Yeah, we're gonna need that. I'll take it. Here you are. I am paying, Kala announces. Sure, let me break a few of those coins for you. How much you charging her? Nothing extraordinary, Poucher. We've done business before, so mind your own. Kepko dumps a few coppers into Kala's hands. That doesn't look right. Her coins are at least twice as big as ours. Look, you ain't giving her a fair deal. Kepko's eyes roll about in their sockets again. Before he and I can get into it, Kala stops me. Please, I do not worry for coins. Not much of a mystery how she's gotten so friendly with the noble kind. Suit yourself, I say with a sigh. Kepko grins and sends us off with a wave. Kala, true to her word earlier, doesn't seem phased in the slightest by Midgard's cookpan streets. She was adamant on accompanying me back to the harbor, though I can't reckon why she's taking an interest in that place. We pass over the broken and weed-laced cobbles, turning heads as we go. My pouches are only recognizable at a close distance, but Kala is like a lodestone to my fellow raiders. And truth be told, I think she likes the attention. Why you got metal piercings through your lip, Kala? It is proper fashion protocol. I would have gotten one on each side of my lip, but then that would restrict my options for earrings. Yeah, try. This is some commie bullshit. Like they regulate the earrings you wear. That is not defensible at all. I'm sorry, it's just not. and I enjoy the fashion protocols as a hobby. If I had not been accepted into the Ministry of Arts and Entertainment, I had planned on working with cosmetics. Color grabs a fistful of her hair and brings it in front of her face with a frown. I need to re-dye this soon, though. My roots are showing. Dye? You dye your hair? She throws a puzzled smile my way. You did not think that I am a natural blue? Carla laughs. I whooping. Oh, good afternoon, Captain Olaf, sir. The portly captain is waiting when we arrive at the sea gate. Private Harold idles on a halberd by his officer's side. That's an odd pair if I've ever seen one, he comments and wipes the sweat off his brow. What are you up to now, girl? You're a long stride from the noble quarter. The Walkerman has agreed to show me the city-state. Olaf eyes me suspiciously. I feared you might roost in the harbor. And now, well, you don't pick good company, Raider. I hope you're not thinking of making yourself seen around here, he tells Carla. I'm keeping watch over the sea gate from this day forward. And likely the harbor too, soon enough. What noble master ordered it? That's none of your concern, foreigner. What about brave Sir Goldcirk? Do you think this might concern him? Brave Sir Goldcirk. The name sends a chill up my spine. What are you getting at? We are connected. Yeah, I think he kind of is. And any kind of English-looking dude with short hair is going to look like Chris, I think. It's the jawline. I'm pretty sure it's the jawline. Yeah, the combat comes in bursts. Like, once we get towards the end, then we'll have combat. But it's not broken up like it was in Ash of Gods. Oh, been making more friends, have we? Yes, and I will say that everyone appreciates your initiative, Captain. However, this was not the proper decision. Please, things can become difficult if you... Hold it, girl. Don't get it into your head that you can threaten me. I don't give a damn which noble master you've been recruiting for. I'm an officer of the Guard Corps. That mean anything to you? Look, see. The hatchway shutters for a moment, then swings open to reveal a puzzled-looking look-see. Hell's all that shouting? Oh, fuck. Ah, that bandana. I've heard of you. Your look-see's fine. Damn it. It's funnier, right? Jay, I think you look the same. Am I wrong, though? I reckon I am, yeah. Well, you'll be sorry to hear that this decade of lawlessness is coming to an end. Gregor peeks out of the hatchway. Okay, see, now this is just becoming a party. And who's this? One of your flunkies? I'm a private security contractor. Captain Olaf Guafs. A private security contractor. Yeah, a private security contractor. Harold perks off, getting off his harbor and positioning himself between the captain and my cousin. Why you? Captain Olaf flusters, puffing up his cheeks and turning crimson. You degenerates. How dare you? Mark my words, law and order will return to Midgard. And if you dare stand in the way, then you'll stand on the scaffold soon after. That goes for you too, Captain Olaf blusters, sending split of flecking at Kala. And I don't care whose skirt you're high behind. And the captain seems poised to say something further, but pauses at the sight of about 10 more boys peeking through the hatchway. With a harumph, he waddles off, his boot Harold hurrying after him. The rest of the boys scatter as well, dispersing into the harbor district. Looks he groans. Oh no, that ain't good. How were you two doing? We didn't do nothing, just ran into him. I mentioned that he had overstepped himself, Kala explains. I'm trying to help. That ain't exactly what I call helping. No, wait. I do know brave Sir Goldcirk, I swear. I'll talk to him. Today, in fact. You'd better, foreigner. Yeah. What are you even helping us for, anyway? But Carla has already taken off, moving quickly up C Street in the direction of the Noble Quarter. Crone's teeth, Jorgen. What's the deal here? I don't know. She just started talking shit to Captain Olaf all of a sudden. I don't trust her. Especially what was her talking all that about brave Sir Goldcirk. Looks, he murmurs. And Gregor and I exchange glances at the names mentioned. And those clothes. She wears that during the day? This ain't good. This ain't good at all. Look, Jordan, I didn't care about your little scrap of Sif, but you're starting to cause trouble for me. This ain't my fault, Luxie. And it ain't my fault he was standing there neither. He said the sea gates got put under his watch. And the harbor soon, too. Gregor wipes the palm open over his forehead, smearing sweat into his hairline like some primitive pomade. Mother of mercy. Mother of mercy, Luxie echoes. Now I've got too much on my plate, you hear? You're taking care of that fox tonight, right? Tonight. You got it all figured out by now, right? I didn't pay you all that coin up front for nothing, right? Sure. I wish I had a little more time. Well, wishing one hand and shit in the other, Raider. See which hand fills up first. I'm gonna use some of these. Like, some of this will come in handy. We need the knights back. So it's tonight or you're off the contract. And I need that foreigner to keep her mouth shut too. I'll take care of things with old Captain Nola. You will? Sure I will, Luxie replied, a little less confident than before. I'll think of something. The three of us make our way down the dusty tail end of C Street. Luxie and my cousin steps onto the pier. I linger on the bank, taking a seat in the shore grass and letting my legs dangle onto the sand. Captain Olaf, Luxie grunts. Don't tell me the party's over, Luxie. Might be, Gregor. I'm surprised we made it this far in the first place. I mean, at first I was expecting them to roll in here any day. But you know, years went by and I just kind of forgot about it all. I'm gonna fool myself into thinking I own the place, he chuckles. Things are going too well to give it all up now, Gregor moans. All the captains are finally on board with us. They were even starting to like working with the boys. I don't want any boots in our harbor. Neither do I, Gregor. Neither do I. I keep my peace, resolved to rip up stalks of shoregrass and tie them into little knots while the pair gripe. No chance of paying them off? Captain Olaf? Nah. That raider's like a hound. He just follows orders without a second thought as to what he's doing. When he gets his boots in our harbor, well, that's it for us. Once that dog gets a bite, he won't let go. Because he's the law and we ain't, you know. Unless he throws his hands up in the air. Why, Gregor? What's the difference between me and a king, anyway? Because he does with an army what I do with a gang? Gregor picks up a pebble from the dock and tosses it across the water. Because they're stronger than us. That's just it, Luxie. They're bigger than us, so they can do whatever they want. All these laws or whatever, they don't mean nothing. Acting all high and mighty, he spits. I ain't got respect for none of it. They're gonna come down here, clean us out, and then start doing the same damn thing we was. Only less organized, Luxie adds. For all their complaining, maybe the captains will finally see how good they had it once the guard corps rolls in. No chance of fighting them either. Not if they're getting their shit back together. I saw them in action plenty during the bad years, you know. They're all in mail with platinum arms, and nothing but our shirts with slings and pitchforks. They'll cut through us like hot butter. I don't reckon they can take every hood though. Let's start with us, cause this is where the coin's at. Maybe I can talk to some of the inner city types, cut a few deals. We got more than enough toys to share, you know. That reminds me, Luxie. What are we gonna do about? Shit, that's right. Luxie grabs 2 fistfuls of his bandana, then passes it back into place. We gotta find somewhere else to hide them for Maiden's sake. If one of them boots take a piece at the dry dock, at least we'll be dangling side by side. Let's see that it don't come to that, Gregor. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we gotta do it fast, you know. I reckon this will be a bad time to explain why Captain Olaf is right, but we need to start putting things back together in Midgard, and soon. They must realize that. Gregor isn't a bad raider, and maybe Luxie isn't either. But when the light grows dim, even good raiders lose their footing. If only I had the clout to make them listen to me. I would climb further into the sand-draped shore grass and let out a sigh. Luxie turned suddenly. Palchin, you've been there this whole time? Yeah. Ain't you got work stuff? I reckon so. That cog just pulled into port, you know? The one we was talking about? The crew's probably at the whale. Don't let me tell you how to do your job or nothing. Nah, I got it. Thanks. I rest my feet and leave the harbor boys to their griping. Oh, and one other thing Luxie called after me. Asmund quit wearing jewelry. I'm sure of it now. I paused. He wasn't wearing any that night? What night? I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm just telling you. Asmund weren't wearing no jewelry this past moon. He hawked it for drinking money. The bizarre response gave me a double take, but I suppose it makes sense in a way. He doesn't want to think about the weird few raiders do. It's best to push it in onto me and forget about it. It's my problem now anyways. Got it. Thanks, Wooksy. I turn away from the pier and start back up the harbor road. My feet draw to a halt as I need a whale. What was that about the dry dock? Let's go see what they're trying to hide. Curiosity has gotten the best of me. I find myself making my way towards the series of sheds that rim the shoreline, a graveyard for raiding craft. The air is heavy with the smell of dust and rotten wood. A craft rests upon a sepulchre of planks here, a tarp draped over its hull like a burial shroud. On a whim, I lift up the sheet to take a peek. Crone's teeth. The shiny lacquered body of at least 20 crossbows are stacked neatly along the hold. Drawing the tarp further back, I discovered a full collection of armaments, swords, spears, and poleaxes. Alright, Mike, thank you for coming through. We always love having you here, my friend. We'll catch you in the next stream. I jump and plant my belly on the gunnel, and reaching into the hole, I manage to wiggle one of his crossbows free. It's surprisingly heavy. I'll pluck at the cable, doesn't even budge the mechanism. I remember hearing that a shooter had to pin the weapon to the ground with his foot in order to load it. That's probably what the handle on the front is for. I took a boot in the stirrup and began to ratchet back the cable. It slides under the retention clip with a dull click. I've got bolts for it too. Laying the crossbow down gently, I climb back over the gunnel to retrieve a missile from the stack of ammunition. The bolt fits neatly into the crossbow slit. Nice. And now I reckon all I have to do is pull the trigger. Shit, that was a lot louder than I expected. I pause for a moment, listening to see if one of the boys will come and catch me red-handed. But nobody appears. I let out a sigh and relief and go hunting for the bolt. It has embedded itself deep into the craft, and no matter how hard I yank it, it won't come loose. I reckon things probably won't go over well if Looksy came by and found this. Turning the crossbow on its side like a sledge, I managed to strike half the bolt off so that it's at least less noticeable. That should do it. I turned the crossbow over in my hands a few more times, testing the weight and feel of it. It feels surprisingly good to have in my hands. It's not like the old arming sword. The weight of it is somehow reassuring, powerful. And I raised the weapon to my shoulder again, looking down its length and imagining myself launching a bolt into some Gotlander scum's face. I could make good use of this thing tonight if I wanted to borrow it. Yep, we're taking it. They won't even notice it's missing. I'll need some way of keeping it out of my hands for the encounter. Doubtlessly, holding it would trigger that thing's rule. I reached around in the raiding craft until I grabbed hold of the bowline. Well, it ain't like we're going to be using this craft anytime soon. Using the broken dagger, I slice the length of bowline off, about 2 forearms in length. And I find that it's more than enough to loop a dummy cord from the crossbow to my shoulder. With this sling, I can move around with the crossbow slung over my back or hanging at my thigh. That hopefully sidesteps that thing's rules about having weaponry in my hands. Need to stop stumbling over my English. But I think we have everything we need to get the thing. I'll lean the weapon against the inside of the shed. I'll grab it later tonight, after all the boys are in their beds. There's still plenty of daylight left, but I'd rather not spend it in the harbor. I can safely assume that I've escaped Looksy's good graces. It's not like further preparation is going to save me either. Therefore, procrastination and escapism have become my chief suits in life. My feet lead me once again up C Street's subtle curve. A long black figure is sent trudging through the softening haze, beneath those watchful figures that border my peregrination, like crows upon a hangman's mile. The heat of the day has begun to subside, and so they invade the open air again, posted against the shop's walls and heated on their cooling dolomite steps. The whites of their eyes, dotted with ink, follow me unabashedly across the cobbles. Many have pipes and cigars in their teeth, something to fill their mouths with until it gets dark, until they can drink. I hate them. I could blame the heat, but only for distilling a truer emotion. Alas, Midgard, the North lays dying, and look where profligate insects will inherit its corpse. Listen to their chirps. Coin? Spare a good coin, good raider, so that I can eat. My father was a freeman, but I found myself in the mood, as if my steps are traced here from force of habit, seeking refuge once again. Oh, the comfort of his granary, a world of man's construction, each flower planted in careful arrangement, and each branch trimmed to a pleasant length. I can never lose my adoration for the moot. Only here has man truly placed nature in her proper bondage. Hello? I called for the cultist, wondering if I looked at and found the place deserted. Ah, hello, Walkerman. Damn. Contracts, I presume? Nah, I'm just here for his sake. Ah, that's good, Raider. Come and sit a while. I just returned from. I do my best to tune him out. Don't get many visitors, I hear him say, and it's little wonder why. The cult is an empty kiosk, all set up with nothing to sell. There's no fire in it anymore. Everything is either permissible or in the process of being made so. The man beside me, seated fraudulently in his red robes, is a mere tonguester. He knows the edits by heart, but either doesn't understand their demands or is too cowardly to obey them. Until this guy said, yeah, everything was great until this asshole interrupted our peace. That's why I petitioned for the tobacco to be smoked inside as well. Forbidding raiders from smoking indoors would only teach them that their appetites unacceptable inside might be acceptable outside. Very dangerous thinking. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't like the tobacco, Elder. Yes, it's an odd vice, isn't it? But animals don't light fires for pleasure, so we have to approach it differently than drinking a diet. He draws on and I suppress a groan. Speaking of the tobacco, these foreigners from Japan keep sniffing around here. I say, they might be Midgard's best and only ally, but the cult certainly isn't about to invite them into our proceedings. His mention of Kala and Anatella stir up memories of this morning's conversation, and I find I can no longer hold it back. So, are we going into the Second Age now? Second Age? Well, we're always heading into that direction, Raider. But no, the cult believes it's still quite a ways off. But everything's falling apart right now. Things are dark at the moment, yes. And it ain't getting no better. Why are y'all so calm about this? It's the Second Age, ain't that worth fighting? Listen, good Raider, everything comes to an end. But history is as much cyclical as it is linear, you know. We could easily be looking towards the 57th age of animals. So why make ourselves miserable? Because we have the poor fortune of being born at the end of the wheel's current turn? I find that a very stoic outlook on things. And stoicism is the philosophy of growing accustomed to the smell of shit. Shannon really let himself go. If I could attempt a voice, I would. This game is very quotable, I must say so myself. Cheer up, good Raider. Let's enjoy our time while we still have it. My gaze draws to his belly, which bulges as if in gestation. He certainly fits the appearance of one enjoying his time. Yes, Walkerman, the cultist catching my gaze. You ain't fasting much in the temple anymore, huh? And I'll admit that comment should land me in the cages, but I'm a dead man walking anyways. The cultist just laughs, and somehow that's all the more infuriating. That we become so passive and flabby that he'll taken himself from SurfCon like me. Apathy and tolerance, the last virtues of a dying society. We are fasting constantly, he assures me. In our minds. We are fasting in our minds, and this is the most noble of fasts, for we could stuff ourselves like gluttons, and yet in our minds we would still suffer in near starvation. I laugh along with him. What an asshole. Well, sorry for taking up so much of your time. The cultist passed a hand dismissively. Come back any time, good Raider. I will teach you how timid the trials of physical aestheticism are when compared to those of the mind. And to animals we shall return. At least I might not live to witness it. I gather up the dirty sheets that I've been leaving on my pack and tuck them into a bundle under my arm. Gregor's laundry had been hanging for days now. I figured there's enough room online for me to add my own. And I realize I'm just trying to distract myself into the night, but there's nothing much else I can do. I might as well while the time away in the usual rate of fashion, incessantly cleaning things. I dunk my shirts beneath the wash bucket's water, with the soapy film rimmed by bits of egg hither and thither, and lay the garments out. Gregor doesn't own a washboard, apparently. He does have a scuzz brush, though, and I assume that he does his scuzzing on the deck by the amount of water damage. Holding my first shirt against the boards, I lather the brush and start to scrub. The sky looks nice and clear. I should be able to dry my clothes for a few days without a worry for rain. Again, I'm aware of the foolish act I'm putting on. Eyes shut and ears covered, marching on like nothing's out of place. It must be something bred in Raider blood. And I reckon I could try stalling for time. Maybe associate for another day or even take a different contract. But it feels wrong, somehow, to to stretch things out like that, to go on like a coward, saying anything for one more sunrise, one more summer breeze. I charted my course. Become wreck or roaring, I am going through with it. Yes, stoicism is the slave's medicine, but I find myself in need of its foul taste. I brush the shirts in rapid strokes, starting at the collar and working my way down. Soon a light layer of foam bubbles up from the fabric. As I work, embers of the past few days' events drift through my mind. Lies I've told, mistakes, hypocrisy, the empty promises I made to myself and others. My shirt fits nearly onto the line, clipped beneath 2 pairs of Gregor's trousers, and a drip-drip of his runoff beats a limping rhythm against the banister. The cadence for totality of my memories now comes a marching up from somewhere deep down. Drip, drip, drop. Gregor sinks his stick at an apple core and knocks into the air. It sticks to mud and rolls into the puddle. Drop, drip. They want me to drink from a puddle. I should have hidden the moot today. I shouldn't have stolen those beads. Drop, drip, drip. One touches my leg. Brand's pissing the bed again. Drip. Why does it know my name? Drop. And why does it want me to take his hand? But I discovered that none of it worries me any longer, given the finality of what lays ahead, and this listless sensation is somewhat comforting, as if I were merely continuing along a path, fatal but preordained. And yet, drip, drip, drop, the patter continues. I sit back on my knees and place my hand on my thighs. And yet I've made such a mess of things. Always such a rank mess of things. How? I pause and wonder if there's any point, but somehow this seemed as good as a time for as any of it. I'll try again, Mother. If you reckon to see me through this, that is. I know I ain't in a position to be asking for no miracles, and I ain't making any promises either. But I'd like to make my intentions clear. If you see fit to lead me through this, then I'll keep trying. I'll carry her with me as far as I can, even if I don't get much further than sunset. And if it comes to that, well, that's fine too. Crone knows I'd rather go out with my boots on. For if I am to die, then let me die before I die, for I am broken and submerged beneath appetite's vicious pool. A breeze catches the line and hits me with a few droplets. It's childish, but I reckon I'll take it as a sign. The sun leaves in to kiss the horizon, and I hang another shirt on the line. Gregor watches me uneasily from the bench, and I buckle the straps of my hauberk and secure the free ends. The low-bearing belt comes next, fitting neatly along the groove worried into the leather from their years of use together. Finally, I swing the scabbard over my shoulder and slide the sword in. I'm going. Gregor nods but remains silent. I draw a semicircle over my heart as I push open the door. Hang on, he sucks in a breath. It's just, I didn't really process it stuff until now. Sun's already gone, I tell him, hoping to leave before one of us starts the waterworks. Yeah, well, you know, if you don't come back, then it's just 2 more tears in the bucket. So fuck it. Moonlight filters through the clothesline, highlighting the lettresses of wet thread and placing their wavering image against the deck boards. I find that my legs have begun to shake, despite the odd intrepidity I synthesized from certain doom. So I place a hand on the rail to steady myself, and the porch steps give me a soft groan as I descend them. That is the motto of this game. Alright. Let me see if I can save. Can I save? Yeah, I need to save. I need to save. That is a requirement now, because it's about to get real. Down to the lightless harbor, black as pitch, silent as guilt. The crossbow beats gently against my thigh from its makeshift lanyard. I've taken 2 bolts with me in the midst of night, and especially this night, no one was around to prevent my borrowing of the weaponry. The district lay still, having presumably been forewarned of tonight's activities in the usual cryptography. Well, poetry doesn't come easily to Jorgen, but he tries his best, and that is all we can ask of him. The district lay still, that I already read. His residence stands soft and quiet, unlit save for those few windows left high in the drift like corpse candles casting their panel glyphs across the divot-stricken road. And just up ahead, the alleyway is away beckoning like an empty grave. I pause a few paces and finger the grenade through his pouch's fabric. Seems like a good spot as any for employing a device. Catch me, kill me vines that form a convenient choke point for me here. Oh, great. That's it now, I reckon. I pulled a grenade from his pouch and turned it over in my hands. Its cool metal resting against my skin. How did it go again, the old man's ditty? Crap. I forgot what I'm supposed to do. Move the thumb clip. Press on the thumb clip and it slides the spoon off the spoon into the dirt. Pull the ring. With a grunt, I pry the ring out of its socket. Continue holding onto the spoon. Now I need to lure that thing over here. I have a few options for that. We will use... the thing, and I have to be very careful because I'm pretty sure once I use the lure, I can't do it again. So we'll use the broken dagger. That should... yeah, we'll use the broken dagger. I'll put a broken dagger from my place in the belt and pause to listen. Here it comes. Push the lever down. Lever slides down and locks into place. I'll let the grenade fly. And from the bile yellow smoke, something terrible emerges. Oh, well, that's not creepy at all. Dealing with the dang on invisible man here. A crazed band of ambulatory limbs paint a garish urine color. They're difficult to distinguish, being cast before smoke of an identical hue. Yet I can puzzle out their shapes as being vaguely anthropomorphic. They're spiraling arms in familiar shapes, but not ones rightfully belonging on any man. The limbs spring forward once again, and I jam the broken dagger back into my belt before they can reach me. Ooh, that thing moves fast. They're real satisfied. The awkward band returns to the shadow-laden alleyway. I run a hand over my brow, clearing away the beads of sweat, and I find out I've begun shaking in the knees again. Mother of mercy. The alleyway's entrance yawns like a tiger's mouth, glistening with rows of thorns. My feet may well be bolted to the harbor road, for all their willingness to approach that place. Okay, so far so good. We needed to get it painted, so now we just need to trap it and shoot it. With a grimace, I managed to drag myself over there, but in a vein of weird have I so badly strangled the place I can barely pass. And as I settle past the catch me, their errant thorns rip at my face and clothing, as if the brambles themselves were conspiring to ensnare me. Upon reaching a clear spot, I pause to rip the remnant vines out of my collar and pant leg. The weird is stifling here. The stifling of its cashmere's tower over the rooftops like the licks of a black and tendrilled infernal. And beneath the baleful shadow shapes, it's difficult not to imagine the weird as possessing some form of malevolent intelligence, as if it's twisting bars, still in confederacy with my quarry. Which has now resumed its nightly routine, judging by the noises ahead. The sound of it struggling through the brambles draws closer. He's back! And soon the yellowish face emerges from the thorns, quickly joined by the rest of the ensemble. They step and claw and lope into the clearing, scraping aside the cashmere and pulling at the mud. I better save this damn thing. Holy crap. Lest I make a wrong move. And by the ivory moonlight cast across the alcove, I managed to piece together the horror sum of their parts. Oh, Jesus. That is... they have adequately made something invisible creepy. Good job, developers. Oh, mother of mercy. But that they resemble spiders or wolves or five-headed lions, or anything but the shape before me, with its familiarity and terrible implications. Miraculous, my sanity does not take leave of me. Gotta trap them. We'll use both. 2 burnt bones and a handful of coins. This should keep it busy long enough for me to strike. Should. The act of drawing the sword itself presents a huge risk. I'm not sure which rule takes priority. I scattered the coins across the dirt. Oh god, the animations of this game are so good. Like, just so small from what we see on the board. It's good. The gaggle of phantom limbs chase after them. And the thing begins attending to the coppers. I slip 2 burnt bones in the pouch and throw them down. The bramble coverage and then rattle as the thing tries to get at the coins under them. I back up a few paces, my hands closing around the sword handle. But suddenly this thing turns around like a hound after a whistle and hastily quits the alley. The hell? I give chase, tearing quickly past the Kashmirs and onto the harbor road. What's going on out there? And soon I discover the source of disturbance. Before the sea guy stands a Hector of silhouette, and his hands glint a naked longsword. Oh, it's Sif! And he's noticed what's coming for him. Sif's silhouette doubles over itself, with a frantic hit of hands scrambling through his pouches. Yeah, that was really weird. As the thing reaches his position, Sif finds an item and brandishes it before him. I'm not sure what it might be, something small and wooden. His item forces that thing to face about, but it doesn't prevent him from torquing his yellow torso in an attempt to land a swing on the poucher. Whatever he's got in his hand, it's not going to be enough. I need to get some... Yeah, we're going to go with the necklace. I slip the bauble over my neck. The effect on that is like a dinner bill. The thing tears away from its melee with Sif and sprints back down the road. And I reckon I just adopted his problem. I grab a fistful of coppers and hurl them over the rooftops. The thing breaks right, reeling off from its charge and chasing the distant clatter. And I slip the necklace off on my way to joining Sif at the sea gate. Silence settles over the harbor. A wasted sort of quiet reserved for spent battlefields and tiger arguments. It is broken only by Sif's workhorse Huffley. The scene about is quilted with the melee's choreography, story divots and heel prints stitched into the dust. They will attest to the Walkerman's good fortune for a time until the raider realizes their peculiarity and stamps them out. The hell are you doing here? I ask and take up a vantage before the sea gate. Sif says nothing. I stare over my shoulder at him. The 12 hands tall giant breathing and sighing like a chastened daughter. I'm going to capture this moment and savor it. If I made a mistake, put that thing away. He turns and I jump my chin at the weapon in his hand. That's one of its rules. No shit, why do you think I got mine sheathed? Sif remains silent and returns his blade to its scabbard, missing the slot on the first try. His other arm dangles at his side, still clutching that item. Now I can see it in a better light. I discover that it's a tiny raiding craft. What's with the toy boat? The toy boat? Not the toy. He sucks in a breath. The wheels on it. It can't face wheels. Or that, Sif collects himself, resuming his full stature, whipping the sweat-soaked locks from his eyes. Why is it yellow? Sprayed it with something I got from the college tower. I see. And why are you out tonight? Me? This is my fucking contract, Raider. And looks, he told you. Yes, I know, but how long has it been? 4 days? You're confronting it after 4 days. I ain't got much of a choice. I turn my head and spit. So you going home now or what? And let you run head first into your grave. You don't owe me nothing. You're gonna head home, Raider, and keep that weapon sheathed. Speaking of weaponry, where'd you find that? Sif thumbs at the crossbow resting against my thigh. Don't worry about it. Fine. Now you're aware that jewelry also triggers it. I am. You've got enough coppers? For throwing? I already tossed a lot of them. No, not for throwing, Sif says sternly. How many coins do you have? I feel around in my pouch. 4. Well, it takes 9. It takes 9 to what? He's back! A shower of thorns burst from the alleyway. Fanfare for that thing to turn. Looks like you better start running. And before you ask, I only brought 9 myself. Pot shot. I shoulder the crossbow and line up a shot. Kid, what are you doing? I squeeze down the trigger and my bolts hurtle into the thing's chest, spinning it around and dropping it. Just getting some target practice in. I let the crossbow drop against my thigh and take off for the relative safety of the harbor alleyway. The upper section of the alley is far more severely strangled than I had anticipated. Catch me, kill me vines are draped across his entryway with an almost spider-like intent. Well, I'm committed to the decision now. I work my way through, biting down my lip as the thorns rake across my bare skin and pierce through my clothing. The cashmere the seam are converging on me. Tendrils of thorns inch their way into the small alcoves, snake-like in their writhing, creeping up my legs and reaching for my pouches. I kick wildly and manage to send some of the vines back a little, but they soon resume crawling towards me. Behind me, the thrashing of briar heralds the arrival of another journeyer in the passing, and one temporarily blocked by the weirdest infatuation was me. Doubtlessly will follow the path I had made through this narrow corridor. I need something to move the weird around, cover my trail. That's what we get for taking our time. Well, you know, you learn as you go. That's my rule. I drop one of the bones behind me and the cashmeres converge on the spot. And there's an angry thrashing from the other side as the thing attempts to claw its way through. The cashmeres have grown oppressively close now, and I'm afraid they're not going to keep that thing away for long, judging by the quickly widening swath torn through the tangle behind me. I'm forced to tuck my chin as one vine attempts to loop around my neck. For maiden's sake. Another encircles my ankle, digging deep, its thorn pressing through my boot, and I shiver with the realization that it's attempting to pull me closer to its mother tangle. Gotta get the hell out of here. Like, the necklace is only gonna make things worse. I grit my teeth and struggle against the vegetation, but it's impossible to budge. And I suppose that'd be the sound of that thing coming up behind me. Crap. I feel a sharp pain ridge through my chest, my hand flying, blah, blah, blah. And I'm dead. Yep, I'm dead. And I leave behind the close. That went well. Let's try that again, shall we? Oh, Jesus. So... You're safe here. It's a little further up. Try not to die now. Oh, man. I hope I'm doing this right. He's back. Okay. I'm going to keep shooting it until it goes down. I got 2 shots in, so hopefully that'll do a little bit better. We save here. Slowly but surely. Let's try using the snake's tail. Sif must have wrapped it around the stick for a reason. Let's hope this works. I pull the snake's tail out and ditch its jar on the ground. Isn't a lot of slack to work with, but I wrap what little I have around the catch me vines. I'm not clear on what exactly I just did, but it accomplished something. It seems not frantically trying to get to the snake's tail. The catch me's have grown oppressively close now, and I'm afraid they're going to keep that. And I'm afraid they're not going to keep that thing away for long, judging by the quickly widening swath torn through the tangle behind me. Here we go again. And now we use the bones. I chop out a trio of brambles and cut them like a sailor, pried out of my pouches. Even in the dark, the bone is visibly strained and wet to the touch from my bleeding hand. I throw it away, over the brambles and into the alcove behind them. The cashmeres roll over themselves and chase after it. So I kick off the lingering snares and leap forward, landing on my elbows on the other side. Blood, sick as sin, bright as dawn. It pours torrential from my brow and soaks into the collar of my shirt. My hands are a ruin. Red checks of black and bleeding punctures wind across my forearms, and rim their briars encircle my fingers like a pimp's many rings. My shins are still ensnared too, the tendril gripping it continues twisting up my knee and towards my pouches. So I rip it off and fling it against the wall, where slowly but surely it starts its way towards me again. The violence sounding from the narrows make it clear that I'm still not within safety's bosom. Soon, that thing will find a way through these vines. What could I possibly use to close the passage? Use the last bone, man. I drag myself to my feet and ruffle through my pocket for a bone, and with gritted teeth I manage to tear one of them out, along with a fistful of brambles. I manage to toss the bleeding, thorny bundle over the tangle just in time. The brambles work their way over to the item, and then shudder beneath a sudden impact as yet again the thing begins clawing its way through. I fail to spit, leaving a trail of red spittle across the side of my jaw and staggering to the alcove. Oh, we've got more! I trapped again, I realized. The catchment has completely overrun the other side of the alleyway. Sif, where the hell are you? I scream, my voice cracking and desperate. He's left me, the bastard. I ran my fingers through the mud, wishing it was his face. What a die here. And he, that degenerate bog hopper, would try this another night. He wasn't ready, they'll tell Gregor. Most of us don't make it past our first attempt, you know. I let a low growl, consumed by the indignity of it all. Get a hold of yourself, Raider. I pick my head up. Sif, where are you? Over here. The gargantuan stature of his shadow makes his location obvious, even through the massive vines. I rush through the tangle of calf roots, but skid to a halt a few paces away where they perk up at my arrival. Mother of mercy, get me out of here, Raider. You need to get onto the other side of this alleyway. He points to the left, my right. Can't, it's blocked off. There's catch me, kill me vines all over the place. The left blockade of brambles shake violently from side to side. Sif, I helped you. Alright. Do you have any mementos in your inventory? Mementos? Items that carry someone's memory. Well, yeah, that pretty much describes all of them. The weird has a magpie for mementos. Drop them. Drop everything if you can't be sure. I do so as he says, upending my pouches and loosening all their contents into the dirt. Wait, I reckon I should take this one alone, just in case I need to. Wait, excuse me. I reckon I should take one alone, just in case I need to move some brambles. We will take the coin. He held an arming sword prods me in the ear, and only now do I realize that it might present a problem. That's right, the arming sword is my dad's. I prefer to keep it on hand, but if it counts as a memento? Sif, my weapon's a memento too. Toss it over then. I slide the blade out and launch it over the brambles, and Sif hurries away from the weapon's impact. Not at me. Sif quickly tucks my sword into his belt as the catch me strike again. The tangles wearing thin from the cleaving swipes torn through them. Jorgen, hurry! Without dragging myself through another batch of these bastards, almost physically painful in and of itself. It's coming, but that thing is almost through to catch me now. So I shut my eyes and prepare to brave the thorns once again. I stretch my arms wide and launch into the tangle, digging my heels into the mud as I push against the twisted mass. Catchmans no longer whip after me, but forfeit their position with a passive loathing, their barbed caresses indifference in their torture. And here it comes. I let the item drop, but nothing happens. Well, damn it. So what did I need? Okay, this is becoming a problem. Yeah. I'm clearly missing something in this riddle. There is something I'm missing. Let me try. I'm trying again now. The platinum coin does nothing. I'll probably have to rely on coins, as every other item I had on me attracts a damn thing. Well, at least we know we can die in this game. I mean, it's a shame Mike's asleep. He could see me dying repeatedly trying to get this sequence right. Mike would have loved it. Oh god, yeah. This is back. Yeah, we rely on the coins. That should. Buy the sword. That's no good to me. Keep going around. The work is more difficult than before, as if the weird itself were being stubborn, digging its veins into the dirt and launching onto the nearby houses. I saddled along step by step, pushing the coil just a bit further into the alcove. Alright, I wheezed, sensing freedom ahead. Damn, the coins, the ones I threw earlier. They twinkle in the dark just out of reach like a taunting little wisp. If I could just get to those coins. Gripping a painter's ladder with both hands, I managed to drag myself part way through the tangle. Behind me, it sounds like that thing is finally caught up. I let out a grunt, humping through the mud like a lame dog, but my letters caught and those coins still shine just a hair's breadth out of reach. The thing dislodges the rest of the weird without much effort. But it frees my leg in the process, and I don't waste time saying thank you. Shit! I cussed. In my panic, I retreated too far, and now I've got it in between me and my coppers. I reckon I won't be able to get them out from under those catchmen in time. Think Jorgen, think fans. Is there something else I can use here? No? Oh, I'm supposed to click on something. like, I'm supposed to be clicking on something. The question is what? What can I use? The wheel. I grip the discarded wagon wheel and pull it onto its edge. And I just managed to wheel it into place as the thing reaches the choke point. I brace against the wheel, half supporting and half collapsing against it. My hands welded to its spokes like a helmsman navigating the storm in all storms. Blows rain down and the wheel creaks and cracks from the savage impact. One of those spokes snaps from the force of the blow and it hangs in its slot for a heartbeat before dropping. My heels slide further into the dirt as I struggle to keep the wheel upright. Sif! I shout over the sound of straining wood. Sif, I don't know how much longer this thing is gonna last. Something passes on my cheek, and I'm left questioning whether the thing whiffed me. Okay, we could actually see him now, so I'm pretty sure that's not a death scene. I hope not, anyway. But only for half a heartbeat before the sting sets in. The portent of a scream bubbles cauldron-like within my chest, and with a terrible force that claws its way up from my lungs, a sound inhuman in its pain and desperation, even to my own ears. I'm submerged, baptized in a red and inarticulate agony. Yep, we're still alive. I fall. And my forehead bounces off Sif's shin. When he appeared, I'm not sure. The pouch launches against the wheel, and I curl up in the mud with my face buried in my hands. Get up, kid! I hear Sif's voice over the battering wood. I trace my trembling fingers along the cuff, passing over the tracks of bleeding ruin. Get up! Get up or you're dead! Wait, the situation that I'm in or the game entirely? I can't fucking see, I hiss. My eyes are welded shut and wet with tears. My hands flail about and find the spoke of a porch fence. I managed to drag myself to my feet. Sif is still shouting, his words not codifying into unintelligible train of cusses and black promises. Yeah, the situation is terrible. My pouches, get in there! Through my three-quarter blind eyes, I spied the pouch's blurred image. Stack of plates. Most recent roll your trigger. There, in my pouches. I approached Sif from behind, embracing him and feeling for his belt as if we were a pair of Babylonites caught in some nighttime tryst. I get what he's saying. I shouldn't get what he's saying, but I get what he's saying. What am I looking for? I asked, finding the snap of one of his pouches, but losing it again as Sif jerks beneath another blow. You tell me, kid. It's your plan, your funeral. Better say it one more time. Don't want to be caught in a situation. But I'm pretty sure what we need is that stick with the snake on it. Still got that stick with the snake on it? Right behind you. Use your eyes. Oh. Sif's knees buckle under the crushing force of another strike, which nearly tips the wheel over, but he manages to brace it again. Hurry! Okay, got it. What's this do again? Plant it somewhere out of reach, Sif commands, sliding backwards as the wheel takes another blow. Somewhere out of reach. I'm just gonna keep saving after every choice. That seems to be the wise decision. We're gonna throw it into the alcove. I heft it up like a javelin and launch it into the alcove. And the thing disappears back into the shadows, giving me a brief respite. Alright, Sif turns at me with a quizzical look. And then we... Damn it! All I can say is, oh, as the thing returns, it shatters the wheel to pieces. Sif gives me a look that, even in the dark, seems fit to burn a hole in my forehead. So we take off running from the alcove. Sif hastily ditch a handful of coins along the way, buying us a precious time to think. Well, any more bright ideas? Sif asks as another coin is replaced, heads up. We need a distraction. Specifically, I need a distraction, Sif says, drawing his longsword. I'll keep my weapon out. You find something to trigger it with. What? Didn't you hear me? Goes after whichever rule triggers it last. You're running decoy now, kid. Trigger it and then lead it close to me. I'll take care of the red one. A third copy flip in the air, and I find I don't have time to argue. It's already triggered by my lack of coins. I don't think that's helping Jordan. We're gonna go with the sword. The tar grip feels good in my hands, reassuring. I allow my fingers into its grooves as the last coin is replaced. Coming on your left, I tell him. The thing comes barreling onto the harbor road, and I tense my legs up. I tuck and roll out of the way as Sif pivots in place, holding his sword on a kneecap level. Sounds like he's got it, judged by the sound of body hitting the ground. I take to my feet, greeted by the sight of that maddening thing flailing in the dirt, his legs attached by a mere pussing strands. I retrieve my sword, and the vaguely man-shaped husk of dirt continues towards me in a slow, deliberate means of locomotion by way of claw. Sif jams his sword between the thing's shoulder blades, and then brings it down again, severing a claw at the elbow. You finish it. I take the old arming sword and hesitate. The thing is still convulsing, its unseen ichor spilling out and making strange riparian patterns in the dirt. You wanted the contract, right? Here's your chance. I do want it, I realize. I want it more than anything. I bring the army sword down and I'm rewarded with ablution. I'm pretty sure that's it. Every spray of ichor that douses me like some macabre baptismal supplicant. It pours inundant, driving the grime painted on my face before it as if I were weeping the torrential tears of everything the world might ever know. Mud and blood. Vaguely, I'm aware of that familiar drunken feeling. Numb fog builds behind my eyes. Again. I send the blade forth, and the jolt of its hilt within my hands is intoxicating. Again! My next strike pierces through a heap of evaporating sinew and strikes the dirt. And soon I'm left striking naught but divots in the dirt. Congratulations, I hear Sif say, accompanied by a soft and short-lived applause. My vision returns to find the Walkerman before me, his hand still clasped in laudation. Not the prettiest I've seen, but you survived, and that's 9/10 of the trade. I raise a hand to my face, where blood still pushes out pushes out in steady pulses. As the heat of battle cools, I find the pain becomes all too real again. And that's not the last one of those you receive either. That I guarantee you. I don't care, I tell him, pushing my forearm across the flat of my blade to clean it. Of course you don't. The sound of the heel that strikes this pass is the click of a steel trap, kid. You couldn't stop now if you wanted to, he said as I returned the old sword to its scabbard. And that is a fortunate circumstance, because this city-state boasts no shortage of the weird. No, this world festers with it, from the bogs of Hibernia to the dunes of Arabe, and further still, man dwells beneath the shadow of a threat beyond his reckoning. And that is the way it must be, the way he must be, ignorant of things beyond his daylit station, lest this world be torn squealing from the realm of reason. It's weird, Jorgen. It lurks out beyond sanity's veil. And even if it weren't seeping in on its own, some fool is always opening a way. Our charge, such as it is to so shut those things. Sid placed his pipe in his mouth and for once actually lights the thing. Yet, for every febrile night thing we slay, more will come, he says, his words forming the smoke around themselves. And for every curious scholar we assassinate, another will develop those self-same interests. Yes, this is a siege without end, and our ranks are always in need of capable men, blooded men, to fill the breaches. Your place is here now, with us. The night is your trade, and if you retain any other loyalties, the time has come to put them aside. That being said, welcome to Midgard, Walkerman. Good Lord, that was epic! This I remember. Ah, that was good. God dang. Good Lord, this is the most metal. Well, maybe not the most metal, but it is just so damn good. I'm glad I came back to finish this game. It was on my top 10 best VNs of last year for a reason. Damn good. Hopefully we'll get an Act 2 soon. Keep your fingers crossed. Act 2 Herd Chaser Girl. We're going to save it to it too. Happy to have finished this particular stream. So that will probably deal with the red-headed girl we had to deal with last time. A lot of talk about it, but we haven't seen it yet. So I'm sure Mike will enjoy the Herd Chaser Girl. Yeah, so am I. He hasn't even seen I don't want to say the Milk Skin Girl because that's kind of disrespectful. But there are two other girls, the Noble Girl and the Scholar Girl, that he hasn't seen either. So Act 2 should be a lot of fun. I just want it now. Like, come on, Scale Mail, come on, man, give us Act 2. So it's saved. Check through the extras. Let me go back to these. Let me see something right quick. Because there's a couple. Yeah. So this is the Herd Chaser Girl who damn near beat Gregor's ass. So take it at what you will. That's the Noble Girl. And I don't know why I'm slipping on her name. Cause I found her name hilarious when I played through it first time around. And that's the Scholar. Well, this is the Scholar Girl. There's a chance that, well, especially with what Sith said the last time around, that we may have to kill either her or her father. Because he was saying about scholars doing things that they shouldn't be doing. But that's for another time. This is the world. Fins. Yeah. Interesting world, interesting game. Really glad I came back to it because I was going back and forth trying to plan this stream, and ultimately this was definitely the best choice, at least for tonight. So Friday, if everything goes well, Detention or Forgotten Hand, one or the other, and that will be our next big stream, and hopefully that'll take us to the holidays. And we'll see where we go from there. But want to thank Try and Morning for hanging with us the entire stream as well. Definitely check out his channel for all his fun streams. You'll be playing Hitman again soon, right? I'm just saying. That should be a thing that you'll be doing very soon, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, Walkerman is definitely in the books now. And definitely. Thank you guys so much for hanging on the stream. We'll see you Friday. And yeah, until then, chill. Just stay chill. More other things to come. Yeah, we haven't even scratched the surface. You and I try. Mike, whenever he stops being lazy and play Catherine. There's still plenty more to come. Thank you guys for checking us out, and we'll see you in the next stream.